as a contributor on special teams for us. Thanks, Jake. Number 21, Cam Hay. Cam's a team captain for us. Average 11 tackles a game. Unfortunately, it was only for one game, as his ankle injury required surgery after week 1. Last year, he was the Class A Defensive Player of the Year and a first-team All-League selection. Probably has the best athletic instincts of any player we've coached, and I know that's going to serve him well as he continues his career at Albany next year. Thank you, Cam. Number 22, Shane Newell. Another guy, there was 3 or 4 last year that we said, you're too good an athlete not to play for us, and Shay did everything he needed to do and wasn't going to be denied a starting spot. Had a great week 1, had 7 tackles and a tackle for loss, and had season-ending shoulder surgery the next week. He's for the younger guys, he's an example of someone who didn't get much playing time as a junior, and was off to a great start, was going to have a great senior season for us through his hard work, so thank you, Shay. Number 24, Brendan Popalik. Pop had a 95.82 average at the end of quarter 1. I'm calling it the game of his life versus Olympia. 33 carries for 246 yards and 4 touchdowns. He also had 26 tackles on the year. Unfortunately, that injury bug hit Pop as well. He was limited for the rest of the season, but another off-season guy that was at every workout and was someone that was going to contribute big time. With that injury bug kind of hit him a little bit this year, and the one, he really won us that game with his effort against Greece Olympia. So thank you, Brendan. Number 27, Oliver Pineda. Oliver is a contributor on all of our scout teams and a regular in our off-season workouts. Always worked hard in practice and is a great teammate. I'm sure he would have liked to play more, but I'm glad he was a member of this team the past 2 years, and I hope he feels that way as well. Thank you, Oliver. Number 32, Tyson Daly. Tyson had a 94.62 average at the end of quarter 1. Another great teammate, would do anything we asked to help us prepare for an opponent. He took a lot of those scout team running back reps as well. Ended the year with 15 carries for 53 yards, and really appreciate all of his hard work. Thanks, Tyson. Number 34, Joey Pezzanelli. Pez had a 91.13 average. Quarter 1 as a team captain. He had the touchdown that broke the game open in week 1 on a 58-yard screen pass. On defense, had 15 tackles in less than 6 quarters of action. Unfortunately, he injured his knee in the first half of our game versus Spencerport, and again had season-ending surgery. In 2018, over 1,000 yards rushing, and may have been even better on defense when we move him over to defense. Another guy with great instincts, and I know that's going to serve him well at Albany as well. Thanks, Joe. Kirsten sneak in? Yep. All right. Number 56, Aiden Ruffalo. Aiden, a big contributor on all of our scout teams. End of the year with 2 tackles, seeing action in 2 games. About a week after the season ended, I walked back in my office and there was a letter from Aiden on my desk, and I'm not going to share what it said, but I can tell you it makes me proud to be a coach when you get things like that from someone who didn't play much and did all the work. So I appreciate that, Aiden, and I hope you feel the same way about being a part of this program for the last couple of years. Thank you, Aiden. Number 58, Mitch Reisig. .97 average at the end of quarter 1. Mitch is a team captain and a first-team All-Star at defensive line. A great competitor, even better teammate. One of the few guys that started every game for us. Ended up with 29 tackles, 1 sack, and 3 tackles for loss. One of the smartest guys we've had the opportunity to coach, and over the past 2 years probably had the least amount of correction in films that we've ever had. Thanks, Mitch, for all your hard work. Number 63, Banquet. Benji's a great teammate, a guy willing to do anything to help our team. Saw action at DN and ended the year with 9 tackles. I don't think I've ever seen Benji in a bad mood. Always got a smile on his face, and he makes sure us as coaches always have a smile on his face too. So that personality is going to serve him well in life. Thank you, Benji. Number 64, Sam Castiglia. Sam is a first-team All-Star as an offensive lineman, a kicker, and a punter, and is the all-time leading scorer for a kicker in Section 5 history. He's a 4-year starter, one of the few guys, again, that played in all 8 games for us, played both ways, and handled the kicking and punting duties. Has a nasty attitude anytime he's on the field. You can ask our scout team about that. On defense, he had 37 tackles, 7.5 tackles for loss, and 1.5 sacks. As a kicker, I already mentioned he had 15 touchbacks and was 23 of 28 on PATs. Goes without saying, as a 4-year starter, he's going to be a tough guy to replace in all 3 phases next year. Thank you, Sam. Did Connor make it? Sell me? Okay. All right, number 71, Graham Clark. 92.25 average at the end of quarter 1. A big contributor on our scout teams and a great teammate, a regular off-season workouts, and does whatever we ask to help the team. Thanks, Graham, for being a part of the program the past 2 years. Thank you. Number 72, Michael Bowman. Mike had a 94.5 average, and he's a first-team All-Star as a defensive line for us. He's a 2-year starter, played both sides of the ball, and never, ever asked to come out of the game. Every Monday we meet as a coaching staff, and the discussion was always, how do we get this kid off the field and give him some rest? And I wasn't letting him go on offense, and Coach Ojeda wasn't letting him go on defense, so he didn't get any rest. He was so good on both sides of the ball that we just couldn't get him off the field. End of the year with 41 tackles and 8.5 tackles for loss. He's my kind of player, our kind of player. He doesn't say much. Coach says this, I'm going to do it as hard as I can, and line up, and we're going to do it again. So thank you, Michael. Number 73, Tyler Clark. Tyler had a 93.2 average at the end of quarter 1. And he took the leap as well. He worked as hard as anyone this offseason and earned a starting job on the offensive line and didn't give him up. He, for you younger guys, he made himself a great football player. He had an injury 2 years ago and really wasn't back 100% last year, and then in this offseason wasn't going to be denied. Another great example of someone last year didn't get a ton of playing time and worked his tail off to make sure we couldn't keep him out of the lineup this year. So thank you, Tyler. Number 75, Evan Reed. .96.71 quarter 1. Evan is one of the best teammates I've ever had the opportunity to coach. He's one of those guys. If I asked Evan to run through a wall, he would do whatever I say. Evan's going to try to do it. And I don't doubt that. He loves Victor football, and I love the way that he's been a part of our program for the past 2 years. Never missed an off-season workout. Another guy goes out of his way to come and say hi to me during the day. He knows football coaching weeks are stressful, and he always puts a smile on his face. So thank you, Evan, for all you've done for our program. Number 76, Dylan Sasso. Dylan's the second team All-Star on the defensive line. Another guy that's going to represent us in the Eddie Meat game tonight. Went from a backup last year to a starter this year due to his work in the offseason. Ended the year with 13 tackles and 2.5 tackles for loss. He's an intense competitor and a great teammate. And again, he'll be playing. He'll be playing in the Eddie Meat game tonight at 5 o'clock at the U of R if you have nothing to do this evening. Thanks, Dylan. Number 8, Argotti. Mark had a 94.82 average at the end of quarter one. Was our leading receiver with 15 catches for 231 yards and 2 touchdowns. Great offseason after missing. He was the one last year, first kickoff of the season, broke his wrist and was out for the year. Did a ton of work in the offseason to have a great year for us. Another one that doesn't say much, just does whatever we ask of him, and appreciate all your hard work. Thank you, Mark. Number 8, Billy Brady. 88, sorry. Billy had a 91.55 average at the end of quarter one. He had a great offseason and was performing well in the preseason. Another one of those guys we asked to take the leap last year, and he re-aggravated a shoulder injury that ended up having season-ending surgery. Great teammate, another guy. You know, sometimes when guys get hurt and they're done for the year, you don't see him anymore. All of our guys were consistently at practice and helping in any way they could. So thank you, Billy, for all your hard work. Let's have one more round of applause for the senior group.